What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm currently quarantined in Florida. I've been here since about mid-March. Maybe you can tell by this quarantine beard I have growing. But it's been a while since I posted, and I thought I would make my return by doing a camera collection video. So I have 6 cameras, 4 35mm and 1 medium format 120 camera, and I also have a regular 8mm movie camera. So starting off with my point and shoots. First one here is the Minolta Freedom Zoom 70. I got this at a thrift store in Portland, Oregon for like $5 maybe. This one's really neat because it's got a zoom, unlike my other point and shoot, which we'll get to next. I'm starting off with this camera because I've only used it a couple of times. I only put one roll through it, so this is the newest camera to my collection, and yeah, it's pretty good. The photos seem to be decently sharp. There is a problem a little bit with getting the focus down. It seems to be a bit slow, but it's not really a big problem with this thing. So yeah, here's the first one. Next up is the Fuji DL200. This is my go-to point and shoot. I've made at least one video with it on my channel already, and yeah, it's great. I've taken it with me a lot of my travels, and it works great. My sister actually got this camera for me right when I started getting into film photography. She found this at a thrift store in New York for $2, which was a pretty good find for this thing. The lens on it is decently sharp, and the autofocus is pretty good. I missed focus a couple times. The only downside to this camera is how loud it is. First, when you load the roll and it winds all the way to the end, or just trying to get focus and then take the picture, it's very loud. But other than that, this thing is a beast. It's built like a tank, even though it's all plastic. It's been beat up, and it's survived so far. So moving on from point shoots, next up is the Nikon EFI. It's an SLR style camera as opposed to a rangefinder, which means that to take a picture, you are actually looking through the lens to compose. This is actually my dad's camera from college, but at this point I've pretty much taken it from him, so thanks Dad. It is the first film camera that I ever used, and it got me hooked. I've used it so many times, and it's a great camera. The lens is a Nikon 50mm f1.8, and it takes great pictures. It's super sharp. I also have this 28 to 105 f3.5 lens, but I've only used it once. It's a little weird to use, but it also takes good pictures. The next camera up is the Voigtlander Bessa R3M. This one, as opposed to the last one, is a rangefinder camera. So to take the picture, you actually look through a patch that's separate from the lens, and that's how you compose your image. This camera was a gift from my grandfather. I've had this camera for almost a year now, and ever since getting it, I just haven't wanted to use any other camera. It's that good. It's a great travel camera because of how small it is. The lens is super tiny, and it's super quiet to take a picture because there isn't a mirror like in an SLR. So there's no mirror flap. It's not loud, which makes it really good for street photography. I have a Voigtlander Nocton 40mm f1.4 lens that is incredibly sharp. And this camera is nice because for a rangefinder, it actually has shutter speeds that go up to 1/2000th of a second, which is really nice as well. So moving on from 35mm, this is my only medium format camera. It's the Yashica Mat 124G. I got this camera off eBay for a really good price. I think it's a great intro to medium format because it's not super hard to figure out how to use, and it just looks really cool. This camera is really cool because it's a TLR, or twin lens reflex, which means that to take a picture, you actually look through the top lens, but the picture is actually taken through the bottom lens. It's also neat because it has a waist level viewfinder, which makes for really interesting perspectives. and the quality is really good. It has a 80mm f3.5 lens, but for medium format, the f3.5 is really enough to get really nice background separation for bokeh. The lens is really sharp, and I just really like using this camera. It is weird because it takes 6x6 images, so they're square, which really makes you try to find interesting compositions. The light meter for this camera was originally a mercury battery, which isn't made anymore, but this camera actually came with a working light meter. I don't think it's made out of mercury. I think it's you can find replacements for it, but this camera came with a working light meter that works fairly well, which is really nice that I don't have to rely on an outside light meter to use it. The last camera I have is this Kodak Brownie movie camera. It takes regular 8mm film. I really don't know much about this camera. I have not tried to use it yet, but hope to soon, so when I do, be sure to look out for that video. I got this camera at the same thrift store in Portland where I got the Minolta, and I think I paid $10 for this. It's really neat because your only way of composing is through this, which really doesn't give you much of anything. And to actually record, you first have to wind up the film, and then you can shoot. It also does stop down all the way to f1.9, so I'm really excited to see what that looks like as well. But yeah, I have not tested this camera yet. I really hope to soon. I just think it's super cool. Usually you see Super 8 videos, but this is just regular 8, which is more rare now. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what this camera can do. But yeah, that's my film camera collection. I gotta go back inside because the mosquitoes are going crazy. But I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out my other videos. If you're interested, follow me on my Instagram accounts. I'll leave those linked in the description below. But yeah, take care.